And I came across this quote. It's a very interesting quote about immigrants. Quote, "Few of the children in the country learn English. The signs in our streets have inscriptions in both languages, and unless the stream of their importation could be turned, they will soon outnumber us. That all the advantages that we have will not be able to preserve even our language, and even our form of government will become precarious."
This is huge. We got a sale. Great job out there.
That fearful statement, does that sound familiar? Do you ever hear that? About immigrants overrunning us? Nobody speaks English? Well, that quote came from Benjamin Franklin in the 1750s when he was talking about German immigrants. In fact, immigrants that I'm willing to bet at some level are the ancestors of many of the people in this room. Same kinds of things have been said about generation of immigrants, whether they're Czechs here in Texas. I know Kyle Kasal is Czechoslovakian. Swedes or Scandinavians, Representative Larson. Italians, Representative Capriglione. Poles, and countless others who emigrated to this country and this state.
What about one that was stolen?
And while even some of our founding fathers could not resist these anti-immigrant impulses, our great nation has always been drawn back together by our better angels. And our nation has always been guided by that lamp that beckons to the world. It stands in New York Harbor and it says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe
Bitch,
free.
fuck y'all. We got more tired and poor here
The
than
wretched
anything,
refuse.
bitch. Fuck y'all, that bullshit.
Not the best and brightest, the wretched refuse from your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, the tempest-tossed to me.
You shouldn't even be quoting
lit
that,
my
man.
lamp at
That's
the
some
Golden Door.
bullshit.
Yet on the House floor yesterday, the discussion about immigrants was about illegal aliens and lawbreakers, criminals. I gotta tell you, members, I don't know what part of Texas y'all represents, and I can't speak for your communities, but I see a very different picture in the community that I represent. In the end, we're talking about human beings. They're created in God's image, members. We invoke God on a regular basis on this House floor, and these immigrants, be they documented and undocumented, are created in God's image. And members, they're the finest people I've ever met.
Anything you need, boss.
In fact, the immigrants to this country commit crimes at materially lower rates than even our native-born Americans, but you would not know that from the discussion that we had on the House floor yesterday.
Wow.
You would have no idea that that was the case. You know, I greet these undocumented immigrants in my community as fellow parents who, like my immigrant parents, are doing everything in their power to give their
Fuck you.
kids a
You're
better
in a
life.
rich fucking neighborhood.
There are
bitch.
people in our churches, and they breathe life into declining congregations all over this state. And they sing hallelujah, hallelujah to God at the top of their lungs. They're entrepreneurs who are building impressive businesses as generations of immigrants have done before them. And most days, these are the people
When we
you
try
walk by
fuck y'all.
without giving a second glance.
Oh.
They're the lady that you walked by this morning who was mopping the floor, the people who were doing yard work as you drove in, and the people who build our cities and our roads in the hot Texas sun. Some of you might even employ them. In fact, I will repeat a self-evident truth that this country was not built upon a Puritan work ethic. This country was built on an immigrant work ethic. And that is all good.
Man, that's all good.
But the message that we are sending from this body, we are sending it loud and clear today, is that once your work is done, you and your families had better stay in the shadows. Because don't forget this, we the powerful are telling you we will pick you up. We value your work during the day, but at night you better be scared because we will pick you up. So every minute these people who live among us, who make our lives better, when they're driving home, they're shopping, they're going to the store, they have to be afraid.
They lying. They
They have to be ashamed. They have to be fearful in the knowledge that their whole lives can be upended at any moment. And yesterday, through our
They
vote,
got free will.
today's vote, which is a foregone conclusion, we are ensuring that that will continue.
Stubborn sons of bitches that don't want to know the truth, that would rather live in a lie.
That these people live in constant fear of a sidelong glance.
And most people don't give a fuck about them living the lie. They just don't give a fuck about them living the lie. They just going with their business. Like ain't nothing really happening.
Even our courthouses and our universities.
Right. Hey, everybody okay. They doing okay.
Now, enough about them.
But if they ain't thinking straight or eating straight, how can they ever be straight?
My colleagues here in the House.
They just gonna be halfway. And halfway ain't straight.
When we often reflect on the history of the treatment of minorities in this country, we consume it in black and white.
Time for time to kick
35 millimeter film.
Nobody promised tomorrow.
Grainy. Sometimes torn.
It is what it
still
is.
Photos. And we look at these photos and we look at the men and the women in the background.
Because we live.
Sometimes they're spitting.
We die.
Sometimes they're cursing.
What's the reason why you cry?
Sometimes they're unleashing dogs.
Because you're hurt because that person gone.
Sometimes they're aiming water
cannons. Not gone. That person don't be with you.
How could this be?
To life carries on.
Surely they had kids.
It is what it is.
They love their families.
We are light.
And we wonder to ourselves, what could have been in
outside of this earth suit? We are light in all type of ways. You can look at it too.
Fear?
We are light as a feather. Light as the light that comes on in your eye. Light as the light that goes out in your eye when you die. It is what it is when the life is all in you. Truth is the truth. All life to live is all in you to live without no fear of living it too. But we live in a world of fear. False evidence appearing real. Because the people who putting evidence out there, they don't see us as the people being real.
But actually, it's not me saying it. I don't have to say it. It's the record of this House. It's the record of this House leadership. Federal judges have said this. This is not Rafael Lanchilla. This is not Representative Lanchilla said this. 6 different judicial opinions have found intentional discrimination by this House. In Corpus Christi, in San Antonio, and in Washington, D.C. These judges were appointed by Republicans, and they were appointed by Democrats. And that is the record. So when history examines this timeline and this moment, your kids, maybe your grandkids, see you in the background of some of these photos, will they ask, who were you?
What were you voting for?
How could this be? I know you had kids and loved your family. What was in your heart? Was it fear? Was it anger? Members, if your goal, and I'm not saying this of all of you, but I'm asking, if your goal was to use immigrants for political gain, you have succeeded. If your goal was to strike terror in the hearts of immigrants so that they go home, succeeded. And if your goal was to win yesterday at all costs, you succeeded. As the vanquished in yesterday's battle, I say congratulations, and I hope you're satisfied. Thank you.
A whole bunch of bullshit. In Texas.
Because Republicans are eager to reinforce the president's call for a crackdown on illegal immigration.
It's a bill the Sheriff's Association of Texas supports.
Texas sheriffs should follow the rule of law. and enforce without fear, favor, affection, malice, or partiality.
Or you hear
253
or
sheriffs
you hear the races in that nigga's voice.
do this with honor.
That was a shot at Travis County Sheriff Sally Hernandez, who is not falling in lockstep with the rest.
The majority of those testifying today are for the bill, including some leaders in Austin's faith community. KXAN's Leslie Rangel asked some of them why they've decided to take a political stance on such a controversial issue.
It's a human issue. It's not a political issue. And we can't be divided about our humanity.
Faith leader after faith leader standing up to a bill that would require local police to enforce immigration laws under certain provisions. Bishop Joe Vasquez of the Diocese of Austin testified during the bill hearing.
The immigrants many times have no one to speak on their behalf.
It's a sentiment echoed by many here in Austin.
So this is our closet in which we store the things that we give.
Like at St. Austin's Catholic Church, who specialize in helping the poor who need basic supplies.
Came to Texas and worked with largely the Mexicanos, the Mexican-American community, the people coming from El Salvador during the Salvadoran Civil War.
Father Bruce Mealy says he worries about the message SB4 is sending.
And it really projects a very inhuman, cruel, and a very un-American image.
He says his faith was shaped by the works of Martin Luther King Jr.
Dr. King,
of course, preached that great dream of an America united at the table of brotherhood and sisterhood. I think that the more we people of faith become involved with the public square in general and politics specifically, I think we could bring about a land of freedom.
Oh, that's bullshit too.
Leslie Rangel, KXAN News.
That's bullshit
And we
too.
want to be clear, the majority of people testifying today are against that bill, including some leaders in Austin's faith community. It may soon be easier for churches and other tax-exempt organizations to get political. At the National Prayer Breakfast today, the president vowed to repeal a rule that bars pastors from endorsing candidates from the pulpit.
I will get rid of and totally destroy the Johnson Amendment and allow our representatives of faith to speak freely and without fear of retribution. I will do that, remember.
That amendment is named after then Senator Lyndon B. Johnson, who pushed for it to be enacted. The president didn't say how or when, but he made a similar pledge as a candidate.
Hay un mundo como ningún otro mundo, donde tierras lejanas se cruzan con galaxias distantes y donde familias que se ven todos los días pueden crear esos recuerdos que los unen.
Oh, I didn't know that. Get up, they got a Mexican Walt Disney commercial.
Paquete de 4 noches y 4 días en un hotel selecto de Walt Disney World Resort con bonitos alpares temáticos para una familia de 4 por menos de $2,000.
Ahora, en Texas, un proyecto de ley en contra de las llamadas ciudades santuario está tomando más y más fuerza.
Claro está, tras más de 15 horas de un emotivo debate, la Cámara de Representantes Estatal aprobó la medida SB4, la cual le da poder a la...
Hoping my niggas stay the same, but they always change. I've been going through some things. Pissed off, man. Can't nobody understand it, man. I want my candy, man. I've been going through my whole secret, but she missing with the streets. They got me stressing, cause she might be even anything. I try to bring her when I holler, he ain't holler back. That's why I'm missing crap, baby, trying to get you back. That's why I ain't put this situation that I'm in. The judge trying to send it to the penny. Hey, y'all niggas wanna see me with them 30 slaves. Y'all niggas don't know what I got them 30 slaves. Them 30 slaves lies and nigga that all my face. Them 30 slaves I'm on the
You got the pickup point on your GPS? Okay, all looks cool from here. Just collect the goods and bring them to the warehouse.
Where's the copyright on this? Where's the copyright on this? I'm listening to this here, man. This is the bullshit. Where's the copyright on this, man? Y'all showing these cars and bullshit. This is what people are killing for. To get this type of shit. But y'all let this shit be played with all different type of music without no copyright turning the clean off. Bullshit, man.